Hello everyone. In today's layout, I plan on getting rid of lots of scraps of paper that I have not been able to part with. I'll be using two 4x6 photos that I trimmed down a bit and one 2x2 photo. I'm starting off by painting this cardstock metallic blue to make some embellishments that'll marry with the sister page. And I have my workspace set up for this layout, so let's get started. I'm beginning by creating a border for the layout, trimming off a little bit of this sand colored paper so that I'll have a 1/4 inch border all the way around. And for my photos, I decided that I want the little blue tint in the center to really, I want to be able to show the scale. In reality, that blue tent is very, very small. So I thought if I make this more like a panoramic photo and connect them all together, it'll help show the scale of that small tent, which is my daughter's tent. The red is mine and the gray is friends of hers. And her tent sleeps one person. And I don't know how she gets into it, but she does. When we first set up our tents, we had a lot of space around them. There was room for chairs, we could come out, sit and relax, whatever. Anyway, by the time the other campers came, the place was so packed that our tents were practically on top of one another. There was no room. I'd walk out the front of my tent and bang into the tent next to me. It was that packed. But it worked out because there was enough space around all the tents to kind of crawl and find your way. So we had to use markers to find our tent, especially at night when we came back. And there were lights hanging in the trees and things like that. It was really cool. But anyway, my daughter parked or set up her tent right along the road. And so that became the marker. There was no tent like that around. And that was an easy way for us to find our tents, which were a little off the road. Anyway, my object for this layout was to kind of recreate that um, mess of tents around us. So in using a lot of scrap papers, what I'm hoping is to make my photo kind of get swallowed up in a tapestry of colors. All the tents kind of look like that to me. When you looked out over the campsite, not only did some people hang up tapestries, but just all the different colored tents and the different styles of tents. In a way, it looked like a mess, but in another way, it was this beautiful tapestry of colors. So let me speed things up a bit here, and I'll continue to talk and burn your ears off. Anyway, normally I do not want my photos to get lost in the background of a layout. The photos are always the focal point, and you want them to stand up and pop. But at this event, the tents were swallowed up into the background. So I'm really trying to recreate the mood of the story. And I figure if I put enough paper and cardstock in the background and a memorabilia, I can do that. And so in this particular case, the crazy background will help tell the story. And I did something similar to this for the opening page of this storyline. And my daughter looked at it, and the first thing she said was, "That looks like where we were staying." And so it's kind of nice to have a visual memory. I mean, we journal and we write and we take our photos, and that helps tell the story. But often we can also use the design of our layout to help tell the story. And in this particular case, I think it really helps to have that background cluttered with this multi collage of paper and cardstock so that it tells the story too, and some embellishments adding to it. And it's not often that I will really make that attempt. But I find myself a lot lately really trying to push myself a bit more and try different things and use different products and create different styles of layouts so that, and it also depends upon what I'm using, because the products that I use kind of help guide me in a particular direction along with the photo and so forth. So in this particular case, it was pretty easy, I guess, in a way, to just go crazy with the background because of what it is I'm trying to do. Make that tapestry of colors and, you know, a messy background, but still have texture and the focal point for the photos, and to be able to tell the story and have memorabilia in there and not have it look too messy. Messy might not be the best word to use here. The campsite that we were at did not have designated space for each camper. So whenever you set up your tent, you just grabbed a spot and hope your tent fit there. And after we had up our tent and other campers came in, they just squeezed in everywhere they could fit. And that's kind of what I'm doing with the cardstock, just squeezing pieces of paper here and having them kind of overlap on top of one another, much like the camp area. And I may make it sound horrible, but it was really great. And you got to know your neighbors, which was even better. There were, and everyone was really friendly, which was even better, because if you're going to be sleeping on your tent right next to the tent next to you, it's kind of nice that the people next door to you are nice and friendly. And excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat. But yeah, you really got to know your neighbors, and everyone was fun, and it was a great time. And from our tents in the evening, you could hear the music, because the music went on until like 4 in the morning, and yeah, 4 in the morning. And you could hear it from your tent. So it was actually kind of nice, because our tents were, the music wasn't loud and banging in your ear, kind of, nothing like that, but kind of in the background, so you went to sleep with this really awesome music. And I loved it. And I usually don't go to sleep with music, but that was pretty cool, I have to say. Anyway, I'm using the blue cardstock that I painted, and I wanted to use the wood veneer as a template because on the sister page, that was the size of the embellishments for that particular page. It was actually one of those wood veneers, and I ended up painting it. So I decided to trim it out, and then trim the ends to look much like the sister page. And I got to use my Creative Memories corner rounder, something that I have not used probably in years. I am very much committed to what I'm doing here, so I'm going to speed it up to super speed. Hold on to your seats and your eyeballs, and let's get to the end of this. I also put on the blue metallic border around the photo to help it stand out a little bit more. So that also helped it not to get lost in the background. And using the white glitter pop-up foam or fun foam, that really adds a little bit more to the ends of it and helps the photo stand out so it doesn't get totally lost. As for journaling, I don't really feel the need to add journaling to this page. It is one layout in a series of layouts that's telling a story about a particular event. So there's enough journaling on the other pages to really help with this particular page that has very little written on it. And all I put here was, we volunteer for love, peace, music, and fun. It's titled Tent Life. I'm thinking that when I finish this event of layouts, that maybe I'll share some of the previous layouts with you. so that you can see them kind of back to back, what they might look like in the album. So the cloth on the side is actually cheesecloth, and I painted it with different colors of green, brown, and gold, and I put some glitter into it, and that is what I'm putting on the different pages in this event of layouts. And I really like that little banner that's going over the tents on the actual picture. There was a lot of that at this event where some people had banners and things like that. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, as you can see, my tent is very plain and very simple. The seal that I'm putting at the top, the Illinois state seal, that is from the map that I have on the sister page to this particular layout. And I decided to put that here, cut it out, trim it out. A lot of fussy cutting, but I like it, it's worth it. So I just have a few more embellishments that I'm adding to this layout, and I really like using this cheesecloth and just playing with it and seeing where I'm going to put it at. That's the sister page. So the layout on the left, the sister page, is the night before the photo on the right, where we got up and set up our tents. And I mentioned that in the journaling on the sister page. And my photo's not totally lost. It still stands out nice and clear. I think having the dark blue embellishments on the side and above it and the border going around it still help the photo pop out and be that main focal point on the layout. But I do like the tapestry of colors and so forth around it, and all the embellishments, and the cheesecloth that looks very woodsy. It adds a nice little touch to the layout. And I think I am done here. I think I accomplished what I set out to do here, and I didn't totally lose my photos, and that's a good thing. Anyway, I have a close-up for you here and some stills to follow. Thank you so much for joining me, and I do hope you like and subscribe to me and share my layouts. That's very easy to do. Have a wonderful day, happy scrapbooking, and see you next time.